Okay, and then you can come into child's pose to start. So starting in child's pose, you can have your knees wide to the edges of your mat, big toes touch, and you sink your hips towards your heels. Lengthen the arms long, lift the elbows off the floor, and then reach the fingertips forward. So this is an active child's pose. Really ground the sit bones towards the heels, and then walk the fingertips forward, lengthening the spine. You can deepen your breath, soften the gaze. Now walk your fingertips over towards the right side, fold the body over the right thigh, and then walk the left fingertip even more forward. See if you can slide the abdomen over the right thigh and lengthen the left side of your body. Come back to center, and then left side, walk the fingertips towards the left. Fold the body over the left thigh, and then walk the right fingertips forward. So lengthening the right side body. Come back to center, walk the fingertips forward, and then plant your hands down, push back, downward dog. So in your downward dog, your hips are the highest point in the pose. Think of pushing the mat with your hands to send the mid back towards your thighs. Think of coiling the chest. Push the thighs towards the back of your room to keep the legs straight. And then think of grounding your heels towards the floor. Full stretch, lengthen the spine here. Walk the hands back to your feet, forward fold. Now the left hand catches the right ankle, right hand outside the right foot, and you pull the body down towards the right leg. So you want to slide and twist the body over. Switch left side, right hand, left ankle. First side again, switch left hand, right ankle. Really pull the body down. You can have a soft bend in your knees if you need. Back to center, left side, right hand, left ankle. Come back to center, walk the hands forward, downward dog, full stretch. Knees to the floor, child's pose, big toes touch, knees wide. Walk the fingertips towards the right, side stretch. This time, see if you can walk the left fingertips more forward and then roll the left shoulder down. Come back to center, fingertips forward, and then over to your left. Walk the right fingertips even more forward, and then roll the right shoulder blade down. Come back to center, lengthen, full stretch, and then press back up, downward dog. Push the heels towards the floor, and then this time think of lifting the kneecaps up and then pushing the thighs back. So this helps you keep the legs straight. Walk the hands back to your feet, forward fold. In this forward fold, see if you can shift your weight into your toes. So your heels are light. You can bend and hold opposite elbows. And then bow the chest, the torso towards the floor. Release the hands to the floor, left hand to right ankle, slide over. See if you can keep the legs straight this time. Weight in your big toes and then slide the chest to turn and twist. Switch sides, right hand, left ankle, twist. So keeping the heels light, big toes heavy. Try to bring the mid back towards the shin. Come back to center, walk forward, downward dog. Bring the knees to the floor, cross your legs, and then lie flat on your back. Lying down flat on your back, make sure you have space to your right and left. You can let the legs release, arms release. Bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. You can gently hold your wrists and then using your forearms, pull the knees into your chest. Interlace the fingers over the right shin, extend the left leg long and towards the floor. Now you push the left calf muscle into the floor as you pull the right knee towards the right shoulder. Switch sides, interlace the fingers over your left thigh, left shin, and you pull the knee closer to your left shoulder. Release, hug both knees into your chest. Okay, now you're gonna bring keep the knees where they are, bring the arms into a cactus shape. So the elbows are bent 90 degrees and your elbows want to touch the floor, fingernails touch the floor. Now from here, think of pushing the lower back into the mat. So tuck the tailbone under, lower back touches the mat. Knees into your chest slightly. Now you lower the knees over towards the right elbow, but try not to let the knees separate. The knees don't have to touch the floor, but you want to feel that twist in your lower back. Come back to center. Left side knees over to your left elbow. Try not to let the right elbow lift. Push the right elbow down, but bring the knees lower. Back to center. First side again, knees together, knees over towards your right elbow. Try to touch. Left elbow heavy. Back to center. Left side, and draw the knees in towards your chest, then over to your left. Keep the right elbow heavy, knees together. Good, come back to center and stay. Now you're gonna go at your own pace. Go for 10 times right and left, making sure that the knees are touching and that the opposite elbow is glued to the floor. So 10 times right and left at your own pace. Should feel the side core as you work, feeling the chest open. And once you've done 10, you can come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Come into happy baby. So for this pose, you bring the forearms in between your knees, you catch your outer feet, and then you kick your feet up towards the ceiling, opening up the hips. With the hands, pull the feet down, but with the feet, kick the feet up towards the ceiling. So you feel this resistance and this opening in your hip. Now bring the soles of your feet to touch, interlace the fingers outside the feet, and then pull the heels towards the floor. Knees are wide. Good, hug your knees into your chest. Keep the knees, bring the arms over your head, arms straight. Hook your thumbs, fingernails touch the floor. Now start to wiggle the shoulders up. So think of pushing the arms, pushing the fingertips towards the back of the room. So your arms are really long. Now legs up 90 degrees, legs straight. Keep the lower back gluing into the mat. Now lower the right leg down towards the floor, just hovering. Hold here. So your legs are in an L-shaped position. Right leg comes up, left leg, all the way towards the floor, hovering. Come back up, right side. Try not to let the lower back lift. Come back up, left side. Back up, right, last one. all the way up. Don't touch the floor, left side. Good, back up, bend the knees, hug the knees into your chest. Happy baby. Push the feet up towards the ceiling. And see if you can draw the knees towards the floor. Butterfly shape, soles of the feet touch. And you draw the heels towards the floor. As you draw the heels towards the floor, try to use your hip strength, the inner thighs, inner groins, to push the knees out. Back to center, hug the knees into your chest, and then rolling up, cross your feet, and then step back into a downward dog. Come forward into plank. Lower knees, chest, and chin. Slide forward, cobra. Tuck the toes, elbows hug in. Pushing back, downward dog. Step forward in between your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. And then release. Inhale, arms up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back, downward dog. Come forward, plank. Lower knees, chest, and chin. Slide forward, cobra, elbows hug in, shoulder blades draw down. Tuck the toes, push back, downward dog. Step forward in between your mat, forward, in between your hands, forward fold. Slowly rise up, palms touch, and then release. Inhale, arms up, touch the palms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. You step the right leg back, bring the back knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up, low lunge. Arms are straight, fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Hold here. Now twist open towards your right side. So both arms facing opposite directions. Now the right hand comes to your right thigh. Reach up for a side bend. Release the hands, framing the front foot, stepping back, downward dog. Come forward, plank. Lower knees, chest, and chin. Slide forward, cobra, elbows hug in. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Reach the right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the right knee, open up your hip. Step the right foot forward in between your hands. Come up into a high lunge. So you bend the front knee 90 degrees. Back heel is lifted up off the floor. Now stay here with the legs. You can straighten the right leg. Bring the back heel towards the floor, so shorten the stance a little bit. Now interlace the hands behind your back. Roll the shoulder blades back, chest forward. Keeping both legs straight, slight hinge, so pushing the pelvis back. Head reaches forward. Soft bend in your front knee, step forward into chair pose. Sit low. Good, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping back, downward dog. Come forward, plank. Lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide forward, cobra, or upward dog. Tuck the toes, push back, downward dog. Look forward, step in between your hands, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up, palms touch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Step the left foot back, back knee to the floor, low lunge, arms come up. Tucking the toes for stability or pointing the toes for a deeper stretch. Side twist towards your left, open the arms. Left hand to the left thigh, reach up, side bend. Arms come back down, framing the front foot, step back, downward dog. Come forward, plank. Lower knees, chest and chin. Slide forward, cobra, elbows hug in. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Left leg reaches up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Step the foot forward, come into high lunge. So 90-degree bend in your front leg, arms reach up, coming up high on your back foot. Straighten the front leg, step the right foot a little bit forward to shorten your stance, interlace your fingers behind the back. Coil the chest. Then from here you push your hips back. So hips come back, chest comes forward, hinge into your pyramid pose. Soft bend in your front foot, front leg. Step the back foot forward, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, downward dog. Come forward, plank. Lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Tuck the toes, down, upward dog or cobra. Now you tuck the toes, push back, downward dog. Look forward, step in between your hands, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, sweep the floor, chair pose. Keep the chest up, but try to sit low. Sit lower, grip the outer hips into your sacrum bone. So this, the outer hip muscles here, want to pull in. Keep the arms reaching up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, downward dog. Right leg reaches up. Step the right foot in between your hands, warrior one. So the left foot is on the floor. Ground through your left outer foot and bend the right knee 90 degrees, warrior one. If this is okay for you, palms touch, arms straight, looking up. Hands to the floor, stepping back, chaturanga, cobra or upward dog. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Left leg reaches up. Step it in between your hands, warrior one. Back heel grounds heavy into the mat. Rise up. Bend your left knee. And as you bend your left knee, see if you can ground the right heel on the floor. Stay here or palms together, reach up and head drops back. Breathing deeply, breathing well. Sit a little bit lower. Good, head up, hands down, step back. Chaturanga. Come forward, cobra or upward dog. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees. Step or jump. Top of the mat, forward fold. Bend your knees, inhale, come up, chair pose. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, release. Ground your feet into the mat. Slightly tuck the tailbone under. Open up the shoulder blades. Open up the collarbones. And looking straight in front of you. Now from here, think of lifting the kneecaps up and pushing the thighs back. Interlace the fingers, push the palms forward. And then bring the arms up over your head. Reach up really tall with the arms, tuck the tailbone in slightly. Lift up and then bend over to your right. So side bending towards the right, see if you can bring the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Keep the thighs pushing towards the back of the room, but push your hips towards the left. Keep the upper arm bones behind your ears and come down as far as you can. Come back to center, reach up. Exhale, bend over to your left. Roll the left shoulder underneath, right shoulder back. And see if you can bring the right hip forward, keeping the whole body facing the front mirror. Good, come back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, downward dog. Bring your knees to the floor, child's pose. Hips to the floor, walk the fingertips forward. Five rounds of breath here, taking a little moment for you to rest your body, rest your breath, and calm the mind. When you're ready, plant your hands down, lift up into your downward dog. Hips are high, heels towards the floor. Come forward, plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Hold here. Hug the elbows in. Bring the hips down, look forward. Slide forward, cobra or upward dog. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Right leg reaches up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, open the hip. Really try to open the hip here, so send the right knee towards the ceiling. As you do that, see if you can push heavy with your right hand, keeping the right arm straight. Step the right foot in between your hands, high lunge. See if you can push the left thigh towards the back of the room. Bend the front knee, sit down lower. Spin the back heel towards the floor, open up, warrior two. So bending the front knee 90 degrees, arms extend away from the spine, and you sit a little bit lower. Think of rolling the inner knee towards the outer knee. So the inner knee of the right leg wants to roll out, and this opens up your hip. Straighten the right leg, shift forward, triangle pose. Right hand to right ankle, left arm reaches up. In your triangle pose, push your hips forward and then send the left outer hip back. So when you pull the left outer hip back, this also opens up your hip. Hold here, both arms are straight. Shoulders away from the ears. Push the chest forward to open up the chest. And then turn and twist. Keep the right hand where it is. Bend the right knee. Side angle pose. Left arm up and over your ear. Push your hips forward. Left thigh is strong. Good, come back up, warrior two. Circle the arms, stepping back, downward dog. Come forward, plank. Lower, chaturanga. Slide forward, cobra or upward dog. And then pushing back, downward dog. Left leg reaches up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step the left foot in between your hands, come up, high lunge. So bending the left knee really well, try to push the right thigh up. So lift the right thigh up and push it back. Spin the right heel towards the floor, warrior two. Sit low. Again, the left inner knee towards the outer knee, and you want to push the hips forward. Both arms extended, both arms long. Straighten the left leg, shift forward, triangle pose. Left hand, left ankle, right arm reaches up. Extend the arms really well. Roll the shoulders away from the spine, away from the ears, and then push your hips forward. Hips forward, both sit bones forward. Right outer hip comes back. Remember to breathe well. Breathe deeply as you lengthen Lengthen the body. Keep the left hand where it is, bend the left knee, side angle. Right arm reaches up and over your ear. Now try to spin the right shoulder back to open your chest. Very nice, come back up, warrior two. And then circle the arms over, downward facing dog. Come forward into plank. Lower chaturanga. Slide forward, cobra or upward dog. And then tuck the toes, downward dog. Bring the knees to the floor, child's pose. Lengthen the spine. Walk the hands over towards the right, side stretch. Notice how this stretch feels different from when we first did it. See if you can walk the hands further forward even more. And then roll the left shoulder towards the floor. Come back to center, reach forward, and then over to your left. Walk the fingertips forward as far as you can, and then roll the right shoulder towards the floor. Come back to center, reach forward. Slowly coming back up, tuck the toes, downward dog. Right leg reaches up, bend the knee, open the hip. Step the right foot forward, high lunge. So moving through, flowing a little bit faster now. Sit low, lift the left thigh up towards the ceiling, and bend the right knee. Open up, warrior two. Remember the right inner knee wants to roll out. Facilitate this hip opening. Shoulders away from the ears and push the shoulder blades forward. Right leg straight, triangle pose. Really think of extension here. So fingertips reaching in opposite directions. Push the hips forward. Turn and twist the upper body back. Bend the right knee, side angle. Left arm up and over. Now bring the left hand to the floor. And then both hands touch the floor. Now lift the back leg up into standing split. Keep the spine straight first as the back foot floats off the floor. Now from here you can bend the elbows and send the chest towards the floor. If it's okay for you here, keep the right leg softly bent. You bend the left knee and the left hand catches the back foot. From here, kick the foot into your hands. Sugarcane pose. Keep kicking the foot into your hands. Keep the right leg straight. Good, left hand to the floor, standing split. Step back into your downward dog. If the standing split is too much for you, you can stay in side angle. So we go step by step. Come forward, plank. Lower chaturanga, elbows hug in. Slide forward, cobra or upward dog. And then pushing back, downward dog. Other side, left leg reaches up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step the foot in between your hands, high lunge. Spin the back heel towards the floor, warrior two. Extend the arms really well. Chin up, chest up. Now left leg straight, shift your weight forward, triangle pose. Push the hips forward, coil the chest. Extend the arms away from the spine. Bend the left knee, side angle, right arm reaches up and over. See if you can spin the right shoulder back. So we really want the two shoulders to be in one line. Now spin towards the floor, lift the heel up. Now from here, shift your weight forward. As you do that, the right leg floats up off the floor, standing split. You can stay here, or you can bend the right knee. Right hand catches the foot, and you kick the foot into your hands. Really use that foot strength to kick back and up. Release, right hand to the floor. Step the right leg back. Left leg back, downward dog. Come forward into plank. Lower chaturanga. Slide forward, cobra or upward dog. And then push it back, downward dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Really lengthen the arms. Push the hips up towards the ceiling. And making sure you lift the kneecaps up, pushing the front of your thighs towards the back of your thighs. Bring your knees to the floor and then sit on your heels. So with the sit bones grounding into the heels, make sure the inner heels are touching. Keep the spine tall. Now interlace the fingers, push the palms forward. Keep the spine straight and then bring the arms over your head. Reach up towards the ceiling. The knuckles point up towards the ceiling, but the upper arms come back. Lift up really tall and bring the arms back without flaring the ribs. So try not to let the rib cage open. Bring the rib cage in, but the upper arms come back. Twist to your right. As you twist to your right, send the right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. Spin the abdomen from left to right, but bring the upper arms behind your ears. Come back to center, reach up, inhale, exhale, twist towards your left. Spinning the abdomen over towards the left. Upper arms come back. Good, come back to center and then release the hands. Okay, we're going to go into hero pose. So you're going to keep the knees touching. You separate the feet and then you're going to sit in between your heels. If the butt is not touching the floor, take one of your blocks and then you can sit on the block here. The most important thing for this pose is that the inner heels are touching the outer hips. So if that is not happening for you, please sit on a block because this will affect the weight, the pressure in your knees. If the pose is not accessible for you, you can sit on your heels here. Okay, otherwise, getting into hero pose, making sure the heels are touching your hips. Interlace the fingers, push the palms forward, keep the spine tall, and then arms over your head. Inhale, lift up, exhale, twist towards your right. Release the left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. Push into the floor to lift, and then exhale, turn and twist. Breathe deeply as you roll the abdomen from left to right. You roll the chest from left to right. And the shoulders flow down towards your lower back. Come back to center, both arms lift up. Inhale, exhale, turn to your left. So lifting up extends the lower back, and then as you twist from your upper back. Bring the upper arms behind your ears. Twist a little bit further. When you can't go anymore, release the right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you, push into the mat to lift. Exhale, turn and twist. Again, you want to spin the abdomen, so roll the abdomen from right side to left side. The chest rotates from right side to left side. And then lastly, you bring the shoulder blades towards the floor. Come back to center, reach the arms up over your head, and then exhale, hands to the floor, tuck the toes, and then push it back into your downward dog. Now you can go slow here. We're bringing blood flow back into your legs. We'll take a few moments to shake out the legs, bend the knee, right and left, right and left. Come forward into plank. Hold here. Ground the palms heavy into the mat, knuckles heavy. Now from here, you lower chaturanga for 5 counts. So bend the elbows, elbows hug in for 5. Slowly 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way. You can rest your forehead on your hands. Full release. Keep the toes untucked, and then think of pushing your shoelaces into the mat. So as you do this, you notice that your kneecaps lift off the floor. Keep that heavy, keep the legs together. Now from here, you interlace your hands behind your back. Stretch the arms towards the back of your room and lift the forehead off the floor. Bring the shoulders away from the ears as you stretch. Lift your chest. Chin comes up. Head comes up. Chest comes up. Hold here. Good. And then release. Release the arms. Release the body. Bow pose, bend the knee. We're going to do 2 rounds of this. For the first round, the thighs will not lift off the floor. So bring the hands, catch the ankles from behind you. Keep the arms straight. And then for the first one, just lift the chest off the floor and kick the feet into your hands. Keep the knees pushing into the mat. Keep the thighs down. But notice this kicking action and how this kicking action lifts your chest. So kick the feet in, kick the feet strongly. Notice the opening in your chest. Notice the shoulder blades coming in towards each other. Chin comes up, head comes up. Lift up higher, hold. Good, and then release. Okay, second set, we're going to lift the thighs off the floor. So you bend the knees first, hands catch the ankles, push the thighs into the floor first. Now, generate this kicking feeling, so kick back. As you kick back, your chest lifts off the floor. Hold here, arms straight. Now keep this kicking action, lift the thighs off the floor, and kick the feet back. Kick the feet up and back. Shoulders away from the ears. Chin comes up, kick higher, lift the chest, hold here. Good, and then release. Place the hands beside you, push back, downward dog. Bring the knees to the floor, sit on your heels. Okay, we're going to face the long edge of your mat. And then you're going to bring the feet into a wide V shape. So wide V shape position, the hips will touch one end of the mat and the heels will touch the other. Okay, make sure you're sitting on your sit bones, arms reach up. Hinge forward. So we want to generate this pelvic tilt. If you notice that you're rounding your back a lot, sit on a block, take one block underneath your sit bones, and you can sit on that for a higher lift. Otherwise, reach the arms up, push the thighs into the mat, and then hinge forward as you send the spine forward. So what we want is we want a straight spine. Hold here. Now keeping this hinge, rotate the body over towards the right, but don't touch the foot. So twisting towards the right, still hovering above the leg, hold here. See if you can reach the left fingertips more. Very similar to child's pose. Good, come back to center, hinge forward, rotate towards your left. So the body is not resting, body is still active. Reach the fingertips forward, just hovering above the left leg. Good, come back to center, hinge forward, lift out of your lower back, and then hands to the floor. Now, in this position, walk the fingertips forward as far as you can. Send the sit bones in towards the floor and towards the back of the room. So the action for the sit bones is in and back. Now, keeping that grounded, walk the fingertips forward. Spine is straight, spine is lengthened. Keeping this, walk the fingertips towards your right leg. So this time we're twisting over towards the right leg. If it's okay for you, left hand catches the right outer foot. Left hand catches the right outer foot. And then from here, push the right hand into the mat to lift your spine. So you get this twist. If this twist is still okay for you, you can bend the elbows, send the body over the right leg. If you're having trouble catching your foot, you can hold the shin. So when you come up higher and you hold the shin, you can still get the twist and you can still get the side bend. Any amount. Not looking for perfection here, but more of tuning into what you're feeling. Side bends and side twists are not usual positions for the body, but they're very, very beneficial and useful for opening up and lengthening the spine. Come back to center, both arms reach up. Lengthen, exhale, turn to your left. Hinge forward over your left leg. Think of hovering. Keep the right sit bone heavy. And when you can't go anymore, right hand catches the left outer foot or the shin, wherever you are. With the left hand, push into the mat, lift. So think of the twisting action first. And then, if it's okay for you, you bend the elbow and send the torso over the left leg. See if you can come down a little bit lower. Bend the elbow, push the thighs into the mat. Coming back to center, reach the arms up. Lengthen, and then release. Bring the hands under your knees, lift the knees up. Soles of the feet touch. Butterfly position, Baddha Konasana. You can bring the pelvis forward a little bit towards the heels, but just going any amount. For this one, we're going to keep the spine straight. So hold the ankles, lift the chest, and then slowly hinge forward. As you hinge forward any amount, notice how it feels in the inner groins, the inner thighs. Okay, slowly release, come back up. Bring the knees to touch. And then you can lie down flat on your back. So we're going to go for supine poses. Making sure you have your block nearby for the restorative postures later. Bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. You can rock side to side to release the lower back, release the spine. Place the feet on the mat. Knees are hip width apart. From here, push strongly into the mat. Actually, let's catch the ankles. So bring the hands to the ankles, hold. Then place your feet on the mat. If you can't catch your ankles, you can interlace the fingers under your back, but the ankle grip will give you a deeper back bend. Keep the arms straight. Now you push your feet into the mat, lift your hips off the mat, and then walk the shoulders in. As you walk the shoulders in, you see that you can lift the hips a little bit higher. Bring the chest towards your chin, lift up higher. Hold the ankles really well. Keep the arms straight. push into the mat to lift. Good, and then very slowly release. Bring the knees in towards each other in a knocked knee position. And then to release the spine. Second time, catch the ankles. This time we're going to go into bridge. If you have a wheel pose in your practice, you can go up. Otherwise, you can stay in bridge. Push the feet into the mat. Lift the hips off the floor and then walk the shoulders in. If you're going for wheel pose, bring the hands over your shoulders. Push strongly into your arms and then keep the arms straight. Lift your hips. Wherever you are, lift your hips. Push strongly into the mat and then bring the knees wide. So think of separating the knees apart. Bring the chest towards your chin and push the chest towards the front of your room. Slowly release. Hips towards the floor. Very good. Bend the knees, hug the knees into your chest. You can rock side to side. Now bring the feet to the floor. Feet are mat width distance. Now bring the knees to touch. From here, lower the knees towards the right side. Windshield wipers. Come back to center, knees to your left. Back to center, right side again. Back to center, left side. Back to center, right. This time we hold here. The knees don't have to touch the floor, but what we want is this internal rotation, so the legs are turning inward. Tuning into the pace of your breath, slowing down, calming the mind. Slowly back to center, and then lower the knees towards the left. We stay here for a couple of breaths. Come back to center, knocked knees. Notice the lower back. Is it touching the mat or is it lifting? Notice the contact of your knees touching each other. The soles of your feet on the floor, the shoulder blades, the neck, the head. Now bring the knees into your chest. You can interlace your fingers over hold opposite elbows, and then gently guide the knees towards your chest. If you can't go for the elbows, you can hold the wrists. Release the grip. Bring the right ankle over your left knee, and then interlace the hands in between. So you want the right hand to come in between that gap. Interlace the fingers and pull the left knee closer to your chest. Keeping this, slide the right knee on top of the left. So the two knees are stacked. Now you bring the hands over, hold the left knee, and then draw the knees in towards your chest. This one is a deeper stretch in the right hip. Come back to center, release. Switch, left side, figure four, left ankle, right knee. Interlace the fingers and then pull the right knee in. Slowly release. Slide the left knee on top of the right. Hold the right knee from on top and then pull the knees in. Try to soften the left hip. Soften the gripping, the tension in the left hip. And this will allow you to draw the knees deeper into your chest. Slowly release, hug both knees into your chest. And then take your block. We're going to place your block underneath your hips. So underneath where the flat part of your butt is. So just below your lower back and just on top of your sit bones. So the block is going to go second height. Lift the hips up and place the block on the flat bone, your sacrum bone. Now from here, stretch the legs forward, legs straight, and then arms can rest by your side. If you don't have a block, you can just go for a regular Shavasana, lying down flat on your back. But if you have a block, this is a nice release for the front of your thighs, where we tend to hold a lot of tension. Think of the outer edges of your hips peeling away from the block. Think of the sacrum bone, the flat bone that the block is balancing on. Think of that pushing into your block. Grounding heavy, letting the legs extend away from you. Letting the arms flow against your body by your side. Shoulder blades to release. Step the feet on the floor. Slowly, gently lift the hips up. Remove the block and then let the hips rest. Stretch the legs straight out in front of you, coming into regular Shavasana. Completely releasing into the mat. Landing the muscles into the floor. Softening the face. Softening the eyes, the jaw, the hips. Feeling the physical body relax. The muscles start to ease. The breath starts to deepen. Slowly bring movement into your fingertips, into your toes. Bend the knees, hug the knees into your chest. And then slowly at your own pace, come to find a comfortable seat.
finding a comfortable seat, still keeping the eyes closed. Bring the hands to heart center. Draw the shoulders away from the ears with a soft inhale to the top of your lungs. And as you exhale, bow your chin to your chest, forehead to your heart. Thank you for sharing your energy with me today. Namaste.